Gentlemen, let's be real. Nothing stirs up frustration quite like a woman who's playing hard to get. The silence, the mixed signals, the occasional breadcrumbs of attention, it's maddening. You start questioning everything. Did I say the wrong thing? Should I text her again? Is it me? Let me stop you right there, because here's the truth. It's not you. It's a game, a calculated one. And trust me, you're not the first or the last to be caught in it. But here's the kicker. The problem isn't her playing hard to get. The real issue is how we as men respond to it. Most of us fall into the trap of overthinking, overgiving, or worst of all, overchasing. And why wouldn't we? Society has conditioned us to believe that if a woman pulls away, it's our job to win her back, to prove we're worth it. What a myth. Let me share a little secret. The moment you flip the script, the moment you stop chasing and start standing in your power, everything changes. This isn't about revenge in the traditional sense. No plotting or pettiness here. It's about reclaiming your dignity and becoming the high-value man who commands respect, not confusion. Today, I'm going to guide you through 7 transformative steps to handle a woman who's playing hard to get. These aren't cheap tricks or manipulative tactics. They're rooted in personal growth, confidence, and the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. By the end of this journey, you'll not only know how to navigate her behavior, but also how to elevate yourself in the process. And trust me, by doing so, you'll either captivate her attention or realize she was never worth yours to begin with. So, are you ready to discover the secrets that could transform not just how you approach this situation, but how you approach all your relationships? Let's dive in and stick around to the end. I'll share the ultimate mindset shift that will change how you view every interaction moving forward. 1. Focus on your value. First, let's start with the most important step, you. Yes, you. Because when a woman pulls back or plays hard to get, the first instinct is often to hyper-focus on her actions, her thoughts, her intentions. But let me challenge you with this. What if instead of asking why she's distant, you asked yourself how you can become so magnetic, so self-assured that her behavior no longer rattles you? This isn't just about distracting yourself. It's about realigning with your worth. When you shift the spotlight inward, you reclaim control over the narrative. Think about it. When was the last time you prioritized yourself fully without waiting for someone else's validation? This is your moment to do exactly that. Here's the truth. High-value men don't chase, they attract. Attraction doesn't come from desperately seeking attention. It comes from living a life that's so full, so vibrant, that others naturally gravitate toward it. What does that look like for you? Maybe it's diving into your career, igniting a passion project, or spending more time with friends who uplift you. It's about becoming the man who doesn't wait for someone else to make his life exciting. He creates excitement all on his own. Think about the hobbies and passions you've neglected. Perhaps you used to love playing an instrument or hitting the gym. Rediscover those interests, reinvest in yourself, and prioritize your growth. When you do this, not only do you elevate your own life, but you also become more attractive to others. A man who is engaged in his own life, who is pursuing his passions, is inherently more appealing than one who is anxiously waiting for a woman's attention. Now, let me elaborate on the importance of self-care and self-improvement. This is not just a buzzword, it's a lifestyle. Self-care can manifest in many forms: regular exercise, pursuing education, or engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. When you are invested in your own life, you radiate confidence and happiness, creating an aura that is hard for anyone to ignore. Think of times when you felt genuinely proud of yourself, those moments of accomplishment, whether big or small. Relive that feeling. Use it as fuel to propel you forward. Remember, Confidence is contagious. When you feel good about yourself, it shows, and others can't help but take notice. Moreover, focusing on your value includes setting goals for yourself. What do you want to achieve in the next year, the next 5 years? Whether it's professional milestones, personal development, or even fitness objectives, having clear goals gives you a sense of direction and purpose. When you pursue these goals, you'll find that your self-esteem naturally rises, and you become less dependent on validation from others. This shift in mindset is powerful because it allows you to interact with potential partners from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. You're not seeking someone to complete you. You're looking for someone to complement the amazing life you're already building. Second, match her energy. Now let's move on to matching energy. How many times have you found yourself overthinking every text, every emoji, every slight pause in her response? How often have you stayed up late rewriting a message just to ensure it comes across as cool but not too eager? We've all been there, analyzing her every move like a detective trying to crack a code. But here's the truth, gentlemen. You're not meant to decode her intentions. You're meant to reflect her energy. Think of it like this. If she's acting distant, why are you leaning in? If she's vague, why are you crystal clear? High-value men don't overextend themselves. They understand that relationships are a dance, not a solo performance. When you start matching her energy instead of chasing, you shift the dynamic entirely. The first step is to pause and observe. If she's slow to respond, resist the urge to send a follow-up text. If she's ambiguous about making plans, don't fill in the gaps with suggestions or overcommit to her schedule. Reflect her energy with quiet confidence. This doesn't mean playing games. It means staying centered in your own worth and letting her step up if she's truly interested. Here's where it gets interesting. When you stop overextending, you create space for her to step into. And guess what? That space is where the magic happens. Women are wired to pursue, but when you're always available, always chasing, you rob her of the opportunity to show her interest. Matching her energy gives her the chance to rise to your level and put in the effort that you truly deserve. Let's get practical for a moment. The next time you find yourself waiting for her text, or trying to figure out what she means by her last message, take a step back. Focus on your own life, your own interests, and your own goals. If she reaches out, respond in a way that reflects her energy. If she's enthusiastic, match that enthusiasm. If she's distant, don't overextend yourself. This balanced approach not only reinforces your self-worth, but also encourages her to engage with you more genuinely. Remember, you want her to be curious about you, not the other way around. Furthermore, consider the importance of maintaining your own social life. Surround yourself with friends and family who support and uplift you. When you are socially engaged and have a fulfilling life outside of a romantic interest, you create a life that's attractive to her. Your social engagements can also serve as a reminder to her that you are a well-rounded individual with your own interests and friendships. This not only keeps you grounded, but also makes you more intriguing. She may start to realize what she's missing when she sees you thriving in your own circle. Third, set clear boundaries. Now let's talk about boundaries. Picture this. She's sending mixed signals, making plans one minute and canceling the next. You feel like you're standing on shifting sands, unsure of where you stand. It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the truth. She can only treat you as inconsistently as you allow. That's why setting boundaries is not just an option, it's a necessity. Boundaries are not about controlling her actions. They're about defining your expectations and making it clear how you expect to be treated. The beauty of boundaries is that they're rooted in self-respect, not ultimatums or emotional outbursts. They allow you to stay composed and dignified while communicating your worth. The first step to setting boundaries is recognizing your own limits. What behaviors are you willing to accept? Where do you draw the line? For example, if she's consistently late for plans or cancels without valid reasons, it's time to decide, are you okay with this? Or does it chip away at your sense of value? Being a high-value man means being crystal clear about what you deserve and not compromising on that standard. Now let's talk about the art of setting boundaries without sounding harsh or confrontational. The secret lies in the tone. When you approach the conversation with calm confidence, it's not about creating tension, but about fostering clarity. Consider this example. She cancels plans last minute with a flimsy excuse. Instead of responding with frustration or silence, you say, "I understand things come up, but I value my time and prefer communication. Let's plan for when you're sure you can commit." Do you see the difference? You're not attacking her, but you're also not letting her behavior slide. You're standing firm in your expectations while leaving the door open for her to rise to the occasion. It's important to remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. As you get to know her better, your boundaries may need to evolve. Don't be afraid to revisit these conversations as the relationship develops. The more you communicate openly about what you need, the more she'll understand your perspective and hopefully, the more she'll respect your boundaries. In addition to setting boundaries, consider the consequences of not enforcing them. When you allow her to treat you inconsistently, you send a message that you're not serious about your own standards. This can lead to feelings of resentment and frustration on your part, which can seep into other aspects of your life. It's crucial to maintain your self-respect and ensure that you are not compromising your values for someone who isn't meeting you halfway. Remember, a high-value man knows his worth and isn't afraid to walk away if his needs aren't being met. Fourth, reward effort, not excuses. Let's address the next step, rewarding effort, not excuses. Gentlemen, let me ask you this. How many times have you given someone a free pass? Maybe she cancelled plans last minute, but she sounded so sorry, or perhaps she disappeared for a week, but came back with a sweet text, and you thought, well, at least she reached out. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's the hard truth. Excuses are not effort. When you reward them, you're teaching her that you'll settle for less. A high-value man knows the difference between words and actions. He understands that real effort is consistent, intentional, and visible, not just promises or apologies wrapped in charm. When you learn to reward effort instead of falling for excuses, you take back control of the narrative. Let's break this down. If she tells you she wants to see you, but is always vague about making plans, one week it's, "Let's hang out soon," and the next, it's radio silence. In moments like these, it's tempting to fill in the gaps yourself. Maybe you suggest a day or time, or try to pin her down. But here's the thing, if she's truly interested, she'll make the effort to lock in those plans herself. By stepping back and letting her take the lead, you give her the chance to prove her interest or reveal her lack of it. And when she follows through, show genuine appreciation. For example, if she takes the time to plan a thoughtful date, acknowledge it with a simple, "I really enjoyed that. Thank you for putting in the effort." It's not about overpraising her, it's about creating a positive feedback loop that encourages mutual effort. But let's also talk about what not to do. When she offers an excuse for not showing up, don't respond with frustration or endless explanations. Instead, calmly state your boundaries. "I appreciate your honesty, but I value your consistency, and I need to know I can rely on you." This isn't about punishing her, it's about setting the tone for how you expect to be treated. Now let's get into the specifics of rewarding effort. Think of it as a system of reinforcement. When she makes the effort to communicate clearly or shows genuine interest in your plans, acknowledge it. This can be as simple as saying, "I appreciate that you made the time to meet up. It means a lot to me." Such acknowledgements not only reinforce her positive behavior, but also set the standard for what you expect moving forward. If she responds positively to your appreciation, it can lead to a more engaged and fulfilling connection. On the other hand, if she continues to make excuses and you reward that behavior by accepting it, you're sending the message that you're okay with being treated inconsistently. Don't fall into that trap. Additionally, let's discuss how to effectively communicate your feelings without compromising your standards. If she repeatedly cancels or makes excuses, address it directly but respectfully. You might say, "I value the time we spend together, and I'd love for that to continue. However, I need us to be on the same page about commitments." This not only asserts your boundaries, but also invites her to reflect on her behavior. In this way, you're fostering a relationship built on mutual respect and understanding. Remember, a high-value man is not afraid to voice his needs and expectations. 5. Ignore her games and focus on yourself. There's a peculiar kind of power in silence, isn't there? When someone expects a reaction, anger, frustration, desperation, and instead they're met with calm indifference, the dynamic shifts entirely. This is the essence of ignoring her games. It's not about pretending to be unbothered, it's about genuinely redirecting your energy to where it matters most, yourself. Let's dive into why this works so profoundly. Women who play hard to get often thrive on the chase, the validation, the idea that they hold the upper hand. They send mixed signals, not because they're confused, but because they enjoy seeing you invest more effort than they're willing to. Every time you react, whether by texting first, seeking clarity, or showing frustration, you're feeding the dynamic they've created. But what happens when you stop playing along? When you withdraw your energy, something remarkable occurs. Suddenly, the game they're playing collapses because you're no longer a participant. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to face their own behavior. Here's the truth. Ignoring her games isn't about manipulation or revenge. It's about reclaiming your mental and emotional bandwidth. Every minute you spend analyzing her actions is a minute you could invest in yourself, in your goals, your passions, your peace. This isn't avoidance, it's empowerment. Imagine she sent you a cryptic message, something vague enough to pique your interest, but not substantial enough to merit a real response. Instead of replying immediately or dissecting her words with your friends, you pause. You set the phone down. Maybe you take a yoga class, dive into a project, or call a friend who always lifts your spirits. When you finally return to that message, you read it with fresh eyes, realizing it doesn't warrant the energy you once thought it did. That's the power of focusing on yourself. But ignoring her games goes beyond just texting. It's about choosing not to engage with behaviors that disrespect your time or emotional well-being. Maybe she's habitually late to plans or cancels at the last minute. Instead of calling her out every time, you shift your approach. You stop rearranging your schedule to accommodate her inconsistency. You move forward with your plans, whether or not she shows up. Your actions quietly but firmly communicate, "I don't wait for people who don't value my time." This approach is deeply rooted in the principles of Stoicism, which teaches us to control what we can and let go of what we can't. You can't control her games, but you can control how you respond to them. By choosing not to react, you preserve your peace and maintain your dignity. By focusing on yourself, you also create a sense of mystery. When she notices that you're not as readily available, it sparks curiosity. She might start to wonder, what's he up to? Why am I not hearing from him as much? This curiosity can often lead to her reaching out first, which is a powerful shift in the dynamic. You're no longer the one chasing. Instead, you are the one being pursued. This shift not only boosts your confidence, but also reminds her of your value. Sixth, let her realize what she's missing. Have you ever noticed how people only seem to truly appreciate something once it's gone? A favorite coffee shop closes, and suddenly they wish they'd gone more often. A treasured friend moves away, and they realize how much their presence meant. The same principle applies in relationships. When you let her feel the weight of your absence, you create space for her to recognize your value. But here's the thing, it's not about manipulation or playing games. It's about understanding a fundamental truth. People prioritize what they fear losing. If she's been taking your time, energy, and attention for granted, it's time to step back and let her see what life looks like without you. Trust me, if you've been a source of light, warmth, and support in her life, your absence will be felt like a cold gust of wind. So how do you do this in a way that's both effective and dignified? Let's start with the most important step, detachment. This doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop over-investing. Detachment is about prioritizing your peace over her behavior. Imagine this. Instead of responding immediately to her sporadic texts or trying to fix her inconsistent behavior, you redirect your focus. You're still polite, even warm, but you're not as readily available. Your responses become shorter, your time more precious. You're subtly communicating, "I'm here, but I'm not waiting." This shift in energy is powerful because it disrupts the dynamic she's come to expect. Here's a scenario to consider. Let's say she cancels plans for the third time with a vague excuse. Instead of expressing disappointment or trying to reschedule, you simply say, "That's okay, let's catch up another time." And then you don't reach out again. The ball is now firmly in her court. She's left to decide, does she value you enough to step up, or will she let the connection fade? Either way, you win because you've shown her that you won't settle for half-hearted effort. Now, let's delve deeper into the psychology behind this. When you allow a woman to experience your absence, it forces her to confront her feelings about you. She may start to reflect on the good times you shared, the conversations that sparked joy, and the connection that was once so vibrant. This reflection can lead to a realization of what she's missing. It's essential to give her that space. Let her come to terms with her feelings without your immediate presence clouding the issue. When done correctly, this can rekindle her interest and appreciation for you. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of engaging in your own interests and social circles during this time. Pursue hobbies, spend time with friends, and invest in activities that bring you joy. When you fill your life with positivity and fulfillment, it becomes even more apparent to her what she's missing out on. Your absence becomes a testament to the value you bring. As you engage in these activities, she may begin to realize how much she enjoyed your presence and the unique qualities you brought into her life. 7. Decide if she's worth it and walk away if necessary. Every story has a moment of reckoning, a point where the hero must decide whether to stay and fight or leave and reclaim freedom. In navigating a woman who's playing hard to get, that moment is now. This is where you step back, evaluate her behavior, and make a choice that honors your worth. Is she truly worth your time, energy, and emotional investment, or is it time to walk away and make space for something better? This isn't an easy decision. Walking away can feel like admitting defeat, but in reality, it's the ultimate declaration of self-respect. It's not about giving up. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you. Let's begin with the evaluation process. Ask yourself, what has she shown me through her actions? Not her words, not her charm, not her potential, but her actual consistent behavior. Has she put in the effort to meet you halfway? Has she respected your boundaries and prioritized your connection? Or has she left you feeling uncertain, undervalued, and unfulfilled? The answers to these questions will guide you. Now let's get brutally honest. If her behavior has been inconsistent or dismissive, why are you still holding on? Is it because you believe she'll change, or because you fear being alone? These are valid feelings, but they shouldn't dictate your decisions. Holding on to someone who isn't meeting your standards doesn't protect you from loneliness. It prolongs it. Real connection thrives on mutual effort, not one-sided hope. Here's a powerful exercise. Imagine your best friend is in your shoes. She's been dealing with a man who's distant, inconsistent, and half-hearted. What would you tell her? Would you encourage her to keep trying, or would you remind her that she deserves better? Sometimes it's easier to see the truth when we step outside our own emotions. Apply that same clarity to yourself. Deciding to walk away isn't just about her, it's about what you're saying to yourself. Every time you stay in a situation that doesn't align with your worth, you're reinforcing a narrative that you don't deserve more. But every time you choose to walk away from what isn't right, you're sending a powerful message. I value myself too much to settle. Walking away doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to make a grand statement or demand closure. Sometimes the most powerful exits are quiet. You simply stop engaging, stop chasing, stop investing. You let your absence speak for itself and focus on building the life you deserve. This approach isn't cold, it's dignified. It's rooted in stoicism, which teaches us to act with calm clarity and stay true to our values. As you weigh your options, consider what you truly want in a partner. Reflect on your values, desires, and what you envision for your future. If she doesn't align with those goals, it may be time to reassess the relationship. The right woman will not only meet you where you are, but will also push you to grow into the best version of yourself. If she's not doing that, it's time to walk away. Remember, a high-value man knows his worth and isn't afraid to walk away from situations that don't serve him. Trust yourself and have faith that the universe has something better in store for you. Finally, let's wrap this up with a powerful affirmation. You are worthy of love, respect, and a fulfilling relationship. The right person will appreciate you for who you are and will not require you to chase after them. Keep working on yourself, focusing on your goals, and living your best life. When you do this, you'll naturally attract the right kind of people into your life. So, are you ready to reclaim your power and embrace the journey ahead? Remember, your value is non-negotiable, and the best is yet to come. Thank you for joining me today. Let's continue this journey together, and I can't wait to see you thrive. As we conclude this journey, I want to emphasize the importance of maintaining a positive mindset. Life is full of ups and downs, and the way you choose to respond to challenges will define your character. Embrace setbacks as learning opportunities and develop resilience. When faced with difficulties, remind yourself of your worth and the qualities that make you unique. You are not defined by one relationship or one person's opinion of you. Instead, you are a collection of experiences, strengths, and aspirations. Additionally, let's talk about the importance of gratitude. Cultivating gratitude for what you have in your life can shift your perspective and help you recognize the abundance around you. Take time each day to reflect on what you're grateful for: your health, your friends, your opportunities, and even the lessons learned from past relationships. This practice not only enhances your overall well-being, but also attracts positive energy into your life. When you radiate positivity, you become a magnet for the right people and experiences. Lastly, remember that personal growth is a continuous journey. Set aside time for self-reflection and introspection. Consider journaling your thoughts, feelings, and goals. This practice can provide clarity and help you track your progress. As you evolve and grow, you'll find that your standards will naturally rise and you'll attract healthier relationships that align with your newfound self-worth. So, as you navigate the complexities of relationships, keep these principles in mind. Focus on your value, match her energy, set clear boundaries, reward effort, and ignore the games. Let her realize what she's missing and be willing to walk away if necessary. You have the power to shape your future, and the right woman will recognize your worth and meet you at your level. Trust the process, stay true to yourself, and remember, the best is yet to come.